Buying a Tudor instead of a Longines should be easy, but for thousands of buyers, it isn't. Most people walk into this comparison already convinced Tudor is the better watch. Others assume Longines is the smarter value. The truth? Both groups are making the same mistake. Today, we're putting Tudor watches head-to-head with Longines rivals to answer one question. When is Tudor worth the premium? And when is Longines the smarter buy? Let's crank the crown. The Tudor Black Bay 54 Lagoon Blue, $4,900. The Lagoon Blue is proof that specs don't always explain why a watch feels special. At 37mm, it wears like a vintage diver that spent 6 months lifting weights. The sun-kissed blue dial has a playful, almost Mediterranean energy, while the snowflake hands remind you this is still unmistakably Tudor. Inside beats the manufacturer caliber MT5400, a COSC certified movement with a 70-hour power reserve and the kind of reliability that makes ownership wonderfully boring. And I mean that as a compliment. This watch isn't trying to impress the guy across the table. It's trying to make you smile every time sunlight hits the dial. If you're chasing maximum features per dollar, keep watching. But if you value refinement, charm, and everyday wearability, this is the Tudor I'd buy. If any of these watches catch your attention, you'll find links below to exquisite timepieces, a trusted partner I've personally bought from and confidently recommend. They're an authorized dealer for leading luxury watch brands, so you can browse with confidence knowing you're getting genuine watches backed by manufacturer warranties. If you'd like to check current availability, you'll find the links in the description. The Longines Hydro Conquest GMT, $3,350. Here's where Longines starts playing dirty, because for $3,350, the Hydro Conquest GMT gives you functionality that many buyers don't realize they're paying extra for elsewhere. The 43mm stainless steel case has real wrist presence. The ceramic bezel adds a premium feel, and that rich blue sunburst dial looks far more expensive than it has any right to. Inside is the Longines caliber L844.5, an automatic GMT movement with a 72-hour power reserve and flyer GMT functionality that frequent travelers will genuinely appreciate. This isn't a watch that whispers, it speaks clearly, confidently, and maybe a little louder than the Tudor. But here's the interesting part. Every dollar seems to be working overtime, like man math in physical form. If you want the most capability for your money, buy this. It's one of the strongest value propositions in this entire video. This round comes down to a simple question. What are you actually paying for? The Hydro Conquest GMT gives you more functions, more capability, and arguably more watch for your money. The Black Bay 54 gives you something harder to measure, charm. The kind that keeps you reaching for it long after the honeymoon phase should be over. If you travel often and want maximum value, buy the Longines. If you want the watch you'll still be smiling at 5 years from now, buy the Tudor. Most buyers think these watches are competing on specs. They're not. They're competing on emotion. The Tudor Monarch, $5,875. The Monarch is one of those watches that makes more sense the longer you stare at it. It doesn't punch you in the face with color or complications. Instead, it leans into restraint. The case is beautifully executed, the dial is clean and balanced, and everything feels deliberate, like a perfectly tailored navy blazer. Underneath sits a modern automatic movement, built for reliability and everyday ownership, not spec sheet bragging rights. And that's the Monarch's greatest strength. It's confident enough not to shout. The problem? At nearly $6,000, you're entering serious competition. Omega territory isn't far away, and Longines starts asking some uncomfortable questions. This is a watch for someone who values Tudor's modern identity, build quality, and understated luxury. If that sounds like you, it makes sense. But if you're buying it purely for heritage, keep your wallet in your pocket for another minute. The Longines flagship heritage, $3,450. Now this is where Longines becomes dangerous, because the flagship heritage doesn't feel like a modern watch pretending to be vintage. It feels genuinely connected to its past. The blue opaline dial is elegant without being fragile. The applied markers catch light beautifully, and the proportions remain wonderfully civilized on the wrist. Inside beats the automatic caliber L899, delivering a healthy 72-hour power reserve and modern reliability beneath all that old-school charm. This watch wears like whiskey neat, smooth, warm, and completely comfortable in its own skin. And then you look at the price. At $3,450, it's thousands less than the Tudor. That's where the value conversation gets serious. If you're buying a heritage watch because you genuinely love heritage, this is the smarter purchase. It's also one of the easiest Longines recommendations I've made in years. This is our first real upset. The Tudor is the more expensive watch. It may even be the more refined watch. But refinement wasn't the assignment. Heritage was. The Monarch feels like a modern luxury watch inspired by history. The flagship heritage feels like history that somehow survived into the modern era. If you love Tudor's design language and want a quiet luxury piece, buy the Monarch. But if you're specifically shopping for a heritage watch, I'd save the money and buy the Longines. This is exactly the kind of mistake buyers make. They see the logo first and the watch second. The Tudor Pelagos Ultra, $6,900. The Pelagos Ultra is what happens when Tudor's engineers are left unsupervised. This thing is an absolute monster. The titanium case keeps the weight surprisingly manageable, while the tool watch aesthetic feels purpose-built rather than styled. Water resistance is measured in absurd numbers most owners will never test, and honestly, that's part of the charm. Inside beats Tudor's manufacture caliber MT5612-U, a METAS-certified movement with a 65-hour power reserve, anti-magnetic resistance, and enough precision to make lesser dive watches nervous. The entire watch feels like it was designed for a mission that never arrived. Here's where it gets interesting though. Most buyers don't need this much capability, not even close. But if you love over-engineering, titanium comfort, and knowing your watch can survive things you can't, this is one of Tudor's strongest modern creations. I'd confidently spend my own money on it. The Longines Central Power Reserve, $4,300. Collectors don't talk about this watch nearly enough, and that's exactly why I like it. The Conquest Heritage Central Power Reserve has something increasingly rare in modern watchmaking: personality. At first glance, the dial looks clean and classic. Then you notice the power reserve display sitting proudly in the center, creating a layout that's quirky, distinctive, and wonderfully old school. It's the kind of complication that starts conversations among people who actually love watches. Inside is the Longines caliber L896.5, offering a silicon balanced spring, chronometer certification, and a healthy power reserve of its own. The finishing is elegant, the proportions are balanced, and the whole watch feels like a collector's secret handshake. This isn't trying to be the toughest watch in the room, it's trying to be the most interesting, and frankly, for it succeeds. This is the sleeper pick most buyers will overlook. This round exposes one of the biggest mistakes in watch collecting. People assume the more expensive watch must be the better watch. Better for what? The Pelagos Ultra is the superior tool watch. That's not even a debate. It's tougher, more advanced, and engineered like a titanium submarine for your wrist. But the Longines offers something the Tudor doesn't: curiosity. It's the watch that makes another collector stop and ask, wait, what is that? If you want capability you'll never outgrow, buy the Pelagos Ultra. If you want character you'll never get bored of, buy the Central Power Reserve. Neither choice is wrong, but buying the Pelagos when what you really wanted was personality, that's an expensive mistake. If you like calm, honest watch advice, hit subscribe. Tudor Black Bay Chrono 39 Yellow, $6,725. The new yellow dial Black Bay Chrono has absolutely no interest in being subtle, and thank goodness for that. The moment that bright dial catches the light, this watch goes from respectable sports chronograph to full-blown conversation starter. Beneath the colour sits a seriously capable machine, a 39mm steel case, 200 meters of water resistance, screw-down pushers, and the COSC certified manufacture caliber MT5813. That movement delivers a column wheel architecture, vertical clutch setup, and a 70-hour power reserve. In watch nerd language, that's the good stuff. The beauty of this Tudor is that it somehow balances fun with credibility. It's like showing up to a board meeting in a yellow sports car and somehow pulling it off. Expensive? Yes. A little excessive? Also yes. But if you want the enthusiast's chronograph, this is a very difficult watch to ignore. The Longines Master Collection Chronograph, $4,300. The Longines takes a completely different approach. Where the Tudor arrives with its sleeves rolled up, the Master Collection Chronograph walks in wearing cufflinks. The dial is elegant, detailed, and packed with traditional chronograph charm. Applied numerals, balanced subdials, and refined finishing give it the feel of a watch from a time when chronographs were worn in boardrooms rather than race paddocks. Inside beats the automatic Caliber L687, featuring a column wheel chronograph architecture and smooth operation that punches well above its price point. At $4,300, this watch creates a very uncomfortable question for Tudor. Is the extra $2,000 really buying you that much more enjoyment? For many buyers, the answer is no. This is a chronograph for someone who values timeless design over hype. And that's a buyer Longines understands exceptionally well. When this channel reaches 10,000 subscribers, I'll be giving away this brand new Tudor Black Bay 58 GMT. I'll publish a dedicated giveaway video with all the details once we get there. This giveaway is my way of giving back to the watch community that supports this channel. Entry will be free, and one eligible entrant will be selected at random. This is the round most enthusiasts get wrong. They assume the Tudor wins because it's the enthusiast favorite. But being the enthusiast favorite doesn't automatically make it the better purchase. The Black Bay Chrono is bolder, sportier, and mechanically outstanding. The Longines is more elegant, more affordable, and quietly delivers an incredible ownership experience. If you want a chronograph that feels like an event every time you put it on, buy the Tudor. If you want a chronograph you'll happily wear for the next 20 years, buy the Longines. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Many buyers pay extra for the Tudor when the Longines actually fits their lifestyle better. That's the hype trap. So, after 4 rounds, who wins? Tudor or Longines? Wrong question. And that's exactly why so many people buy the wrong one. If you're about to spend thousands of dollars on a watch, stop asking which brand is better. Start asking what you're actually buying. Because Tudor and Longines are selling 2 very different experiences. Tudor is often the emotional purchase, the enthusiast purchase, the watch you stretch for because you know you'll keep thinking about it if you don't. You pay more, but you get the prestige, the enthusiast credibility, and in many cases, stronger long-term desirability. Longines plays a different game. It keeps asking an uncomfortable question. Why are you paying more? Time and time again, it delivers heritage, complications, and real-world value that force you to think twice. So here's my advice. If you value prestige, resale, and enthusiast credibility, buy Tudor. If you value value, complications, and getting more watch for your money, buy Longines. Most people buy the wrong one because they never decide which of those 2 things they actually care about. Now I want to hear from you. Which side are you on? Tudor or Longines? Let me know in the comments below. And if any of these watches have been whispering to you, I've linked them below through an authorized dealer I trust, so you get the full manufacturer warranty and none of the grey market headaches. If you made it this far, please subscribe. And if you liked this video, you should watch this next one on the screen because you might like it as well.